everybody? Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. This is the end time rules. We got that new Chaos Legion book out. A bunch of people bought it. Made one of my buddies, one of my opponents, he made a Chaos Legion list, and I gotta be honest with you, I changed up my list as well to kind of embrace the Undead Legion, cause screw it, it's fun. So I've mixed wet and dry in order to come up with an Undead Legion army, and my opponent came up with a Chaos Legion army. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how these two books slam into each other, because it's actually a pretty good fight.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, and it has changed, so prepare yourself. I now have a Vampire Lord, Lord Tremendous, on a Zombie Dragon. He's a level 2 wizard with heavy armor, the Sword of Might, the Enchanted Shield, Talisman of Preservation, the other Trickster's Shard, Red Fury, Quick Blood, and I'm using the Lore of Death. Now I know what you're thinking. Why? Well, number one, Vampire Lords are a hell of a lot better at fighting than a Tomb King. So I figured, hey, it's Undead Legions, I'm going to use what I want to use. And I wanted a dragon because I have that cool model, I love dragons, I can finally use one, I'm going to do it. So I put a Vampire Lord on the Zombie Dragon. I made him a level 2 wizard with Lore of Death because he's going to be in there, he's going to be close. Lore of Death's biggest flaw, in my opinion, is the range. But being on a dragon, you know, moving around and stuff like that, he's going to be in there, and being able to sling a little bit of Lore of Death is going to help. Heavy armor because, duh. Sword of Might to make him strength 6 and give him some magical attacks, which is something that my army has sorely been missing since I started with Undead. Enchanted Shield because, duh. Talisman of Preservation because, well, yeah. And the other Trickster Shard so that when I hit you, it counts. Also, Red Fury and Quick Blood so that I essentially have potentially 10 attacks with this guy. So he's a little whirling dervish of death. I really like this kit. Next up, I have a High Lich Priest, Queen Elizabeth, who's a level 4 wizard, a Dispel Scroll, Talisman of Protection, and Laura Nehekhara. My hero choices are a Tomb Prince, Dark Vincent, with a great weapon, armor, silvered steel, and a luckstone, and my Necrotech, Sinister Jeffrey, with a dragon helm and the Iron Curse icon. I dropped the level 2 Lich Priest because I have a level 2 Vampire Lord and a level 4. It's really all I need. I've got like 10 friggin' spells to cast with this army. You'll never have enough dice to cast all those spells. My core choices, I have added a unit of 5 naked direwolves. I know I need chaff, I know I need redirectors in this army, and I know dogs because my Warriors of Chaos army always had dogs, like forever. So I brought in a unit of 5 direwolves because it's the same friggin' thing, about the same amount of points too, so awesome. I've also got my unit of 58 Skeleton Warriors. I've named them the Fateless, just because I think that sounds cool. They got full command, light armor, shields. I've got 10 Skeleton Archers, the Queen's Guard, because they guard my queen, with the unit champion and a banner. I had to drop the Musician, just simply because I don't really see the point, and I needed the 10 points. And then, of course, I have 3 Chariots, Rolling Bones, with Musician, Banner, and a Banner of Eternal Flame. My special choices consist of 5 Hexorus because they're awesome, and 3 Medusa Stalkers, or Those That Gaze, because I think it sounds kind of creepy. My rare choices are my Hyro Titan, Nad the Protector, my Screaming Skull Catapult, and my Casket of Souls. Here's my opponent's list, which is as follows. He has that new special character, Bloab Rot Spawned, or whatever, the creepy looking model. You'll see it. And then his hero choices are Throg, an exalted hero of Khorne on a Juggernaut with a halberd, BSB, Talisman of Preservation. And then his core choices were 17 Chaos Trolls. Yeah, big old huge horde brick of Chaos Trolls. Guess where Throg goes? His special choice was a unit of 15 Chosen with the Mark of Khorne, halberds, full command, and the Banner of Swiftness. And his rare choices are a unit of 4 Skull Crushers with Banner Musician and a Chaos Giant with the Mark of Nurgle. That's right, he brought a giant. Here are my spells, which are as follows. And here are his spells, which are also as follows. Here's deployment. And I gotta be honest with you, I thought about turtling up against this army. You know, he has a huge horde brick and a bunch of other stuff. It'd be hard to get a hold of me. And then I thought, you know what? I want to see what my army can do against this army. I've got a lot of punch. I've got a lot of defense. still kind of rely on having to be close to each other and stuff. So I decided, screw it, I'm gonna deploy in the middle. I want to see how well this army can do. So I put my chariots on the left flank there, just to kind of watch anything that tries to squeeze around between the house and the rocks on my left flank. The direwolves came up to give the trolls, a hiccup, basically a speed bump, give me one more turn at them. My skeleton warriors, archers, and titan are pretty much always going to be set up in some pattern like that, because they kind of, they synergize together. They need to be together. That big slab of rock in the middle like there, we were using that as impassable terrain, not a hill. So I put my casket and my catapult behind it. I have my Vampire Lord on a zombie dragon right there behind the impassable terrain, and I know what you're saying. It's on the wrong base. Yeah, I know. Every dragon in Warhammer is on a chariot base with the exception of the zombie dragon. I did not know that until the third game that I played during this game. Or during this day anyway. So I apologize. I am using the wrong base for the next few battle reports. I've fixed it now, but these all happen in the same day. I know he's on the wrong base size. Everybody, is really mad, I'm sure. No, my opponents understood. We talked about it after the fact. Nobody realized it. One guy was like, "Hey, that's on the wrong base," and he showed us, and we're like, "Wow, had no idea." So yeah. I had an advantage. It was an accident. These are all friendly games. We were only playing for $4,000, and I've already deposited their checks. So, yeah, just to get that cleared out of the way, because I know people are going to notice, and you're not wrong, but yeah, it was a mistake. That's all. And then, of course, my Hex Race on the right flank, I left them over there because during deployment, when he deployed his Chosen, my opponent got a Demon Prince. He rolled boxcars and then passed a leadership check. So his unit champion and the unit Chosen died and became a Demon Prince of Khorne with a halberd. Yeah, it was going to be one of those games. So I saw the Demon Prince over there, and I was like, you know what? The Hex Rays are going to blow through the damn Demon Prince until he's hurt real bad, and then maybe run into the Chosen and try to beat them up for a while. Because everything else, other than maybe the Giant, I had a real problem against. Unless, of course, he rolled Yell and Ball, and then I was really screwed. But yeah, that was why I deployed like this. Here's my opponent's right flank, and that's Blotkin on the left and his Giant on the right. And here's his center, placed precariously on the edge of that hill there as his huge unit of trolls with Throg attached. Next to them is his unit of Juggernauts with his BSB attached. And next to them is his unit of Chosen, minus the unit champion because, bam! There's his unit champion. He decided to become a 300-point, basically free Lord choice right off the bat. So, awesome! And here's my right flank, which consists of my Hex Race and my Catapult. And here are my center, which consists from left to right my Direwolves, my Skeleton Warriors with Tomb Prince and Necrotech installed. Behind them are a unit of 10 archers with Queen Elizabeth, and I lowered the amount of archers because, well, I was running out of points. My Titan is in the middle there, and right next to them is my incorrect base-sized Vampire Lord on a zombie dragon, and behind him is my Casket of Souls. And here's my left flank, which consists of my chariots. Here's top of one after movement, and I did not get to go first, which is fine. I'm playing against a Chaos player, so he barrels forward. The Trolls came forward about a foot. The Chosen came up as far as they could. Kind of got away a little bit of his Juggernauts, which kind of confused me a little bit. My opponent's usually better than that, but yeah, he did. He kind of traffic jammed himself a little bit. That crazy, what's it called? Demon Prince, he was like, yeah, I'm going to go over there and go after your Hex Race. And I'm like, that's great. The Hex Race won't be there. Not a chance. Because I'm within 12 of my general. They can march. And his Giant and Blowab or whatever, they both move forward to go after the Direwolves, or in that general direction. During his magic phase, he gets Curse of the Leper off on his Trolls, because honestly, I just didn't care. I had no intention of going after the Trolls right away. And then over here, he gets Miasma Pestilence off on his Chosen, and I didn't even try to stop that one either, because honestly, I didn't care. I had no intention of getting into close combat with the Chosen in the next turn. So, with all that said and done, we go over here to bottom of one after movement, and there's a little bit. My Zombie Dragon General goes flying over the impassable terrain and lands, kind of daring his Demon Prince to charge him. My Hex Rays blew through the Demon Prince and ended up where you see there, and I think they were able to, yeah, they were able to do 1 wound to him. The rest of my army kind of hangs back. My Hyrule Titan kind of turns to look at the Demon Prince because I was thinking about trying to get Shem's Burning Gaze off on him. You know, it's 2d6 strength, 4 hits. It's not a great idea, but hey, it might work out. Other than that, I think my Skeleton Warriors and my Archers just kind of back up an inch. And my Chariots just kind of reposition slightly. Meanwhile, my Direwolves throw themselves forward to kind of bottleneck slash traffic jam his Trolls and Blotkin and Giant and everything right in the middle, just basically to buy me another turn to shoot and magic at him. But yeah, that's pretty much all the movement there. There's a better picture of my Hex... Well, kind of a blurry picture, I apologize for that. Of my Hex Race running through his Demon Prince and slipping a wound through. Whoa, that was kind of cool. And then during my magic phase, I don't really get any of my spells off because my opponent burns his Dispel dice stopping it, but I do get my Casket to go off because he was out of Dispel dice. And so, yeah, first one is on Blotkin, and he takes 5 wounds. My opponent rolled out of the box, and Blowab, or whatever his name is, not Blotkin, sorry, it's the Blowab, it's the Spitter guy. Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of ward or regen. Nurgle could give him a regen, but I don't know, he didn't try to get that spell off, so... I don't know if maybe he didn't get it. He's only level 3, but yeah, he had nothing, so he took 5 wounds right off the bat. And then the Casket bounced to the Giant, and the Giant, even with leadership 10, took 2 wounds, which was awesome. After this, it bounced over to the Trolls, but the Trolls rolled like a 4, so they were fine. But then it bounced over to the Juggernauts and kills a Juggernaut. This spell. And then it bounced to the Chosen and kills half the unit. Like 7 or 8 Chosen die. I mean, he was rolling out of the box. Even with the BSB, he actually only would have lost 4, and then he decided to re-roll it because the BSB was right there, and he loses like 7 or 8. My poor opponent. Oh. And then it goes over here and it bounces on the Demon Prince, who was exactly 5.5 inches away from the Chosen, and he takes another one. He rolls a 10 and failed his ward save. So yes, the Casket basically kills off half my opponent's army in 1 turn, and that's why I like the Casket. I mean, there's a myriad of reasons why I love the Casket, but that stuff right there, the 1 in 50 games thing, makes it worth every single point. So, since there's no real interest in shooting, my Casket goes way off course and nothing else really does anything. We go over here to top of 2 after movement, and you're looking at it. The Chaos guys are pissed. Yeah, the Trolls charge into the Direwolves, the Giant charges into the Direwolves, the Demon Prince charges into the Zombie Dragon, and the Chosen and the Juggernauts come funneling forward as quick as they can because they're pissed and they want some combat. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and Blowab, he starts moving over to my left flank because he's trying to get around after my Chariots. He doesn't want to get hit again. You know. There's a better picture of his Demon Prince slamming into my Vampire Lord and the Zombie Dragon because, the Demon Prince is free, right? And there's a better picture of the Trolls and the Giants slamming into the Direwolves. And, you know, even with the Undead dogs, they get no love, just none. During his magic phase, he gets Curse of the Leper off on the Trolls again, and I don't care. I let it go off because, honestly, the Wolves are screwed. But, I'm sorry, I didn't let it go off. He got it off Irresistible, and he ends up rolling a Miscast 6. Which ends up actually doing a wound to him. So, yeah, Blowab is on... He's got 2 wounds left. He's an 8-wound model, so... He's not really doing too well. Even the Winds of Magic are tearing him up a little bit. So yeah, he takes a wound and it pretty much ends his magic phase. He's got no shooting, so we go over here to combat, and yeah, the Direwolves just get obliterated. The Trolls, Throg alone, I think, is able to just destroy the Wolves. Maybe the Trolls attack a little bit. I don't remember, but yeah, I don't do anything. So, and then over here. After he kills him, the giant overruns, which honestly I don't know why he did that fully. He overruns like 5 or 6 inches and ends up pretty much right where you're seeing. The trolls reposition slightly, and that's pretty much it. It's a nice little traffic jam as far as I'm concerned. Then over here in combat, holy crap, my Vampire Lord is amazing. And let me take this moment to just address the elephant in the room. Yes, burning my dice has definitely perked them up. Now that they know Daddy means business. And I also have a cup. It might be in one of the pictures further on down in the battle report. But yes, I bought a little leather dice cup from the store, and I'm not touching my dice anymore except to place them in the cup, and that's what I'm rolling with now, and it has made all the difference. My dice are rolling average, which is all I've ever asked from them. And so things are going well. For example, my Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon were able to easily kill the Demon Prince without taking any damage for their troubles. So that was nice. With all this fun said and done, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement. And yeah, you're looking at it. For the most part, my Vampire Lord and the Zombie Dragon go slamming into the flank of the Skull Crushers, because if I was ever able to take those guys out, this would be the way. Plus, I want to see just how awesome my Vampire Lord on a Dragon really is. My Chariots reposition themselves slightly to shoot at Bloab and possibly, deal with a incoming giant. We hadn't decided yet. My Hyro Titan backs up a little bit and angles himself so he can see the Chosen and the Giant, so he can countercharge when they get into the Skeleton Warriors. And my catapults and my casket turn as well, so they can get better looks at everything. Also, the Hex Race turn, they move a little bit. I was going to try to pass them through the trolls, but I just didn't have the movement. So they move up so that they can try to do something at a later turn. Here's a better picture of my Vampire Lord on the Dragon slamming into the Skull Crushers, because I want to see what kind of a fight this guy can really put up. He's got a 2-up armor, 4-up ward, so he's got some defense. The Dragon's toughness 6 with a 5-up armor. I know he's not the awesomest, but he's not terrible, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. During the magic phase, I cheat, and I get Soul Blight off on his Skull Crushers, using that Lore of Death to my advantage. Why not, right? So they're -1 strength, -1 toughness. Just kind of help me out. And then I get Curse Blades and 5-up ward save off on the Skeleton Warriors only, just because I have a feeling they're about to get in combat soon. I just wanted to make it so that I had a little bit of an advantage there, because they only are strength 3 against, Chosen and probably a Giant. So, whatever I can get. Over here in the shooting phase, my Chariots fire at the Giant just because. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Chariots. My Skeleton Archers, the ones with the Queen, my level 4, they shoot at the Giant and are able to slip 2 wounds through on him. Yeah, okay, my dice were rolling a little high there. I'll give you that one. But yeah, my Catapult goes way off course, and the Chariots shoot at Bloab and do nothing. But yeah, the Skeleton Archers with my level 4 high Lich, they actually do a couple more wounds to the Giant. That was friggin' awesome, unexpected. Then over here in combat, of course, his Juggernaut issues a challenge. Of course, I have to accept, and I obliterate the damn thing. I gotta hand this one to the other Trickster's Shard. Strength 3 took care of his armor for the most part, but he was making ward saves, but he was only making them the first time. And my Vampire Lord put 2 wounds on him, and the Dragon was able to finish him off with the last wound or so. I do win this combat, but he's steadfast, and he makes it no problem. And then they turn to face. So now I'm like, all right, cool. Took out a BSB. Now I got to take care of 3 Skull Crushers. I didn't know how well that was gonna go. Granted, they're soul blighted, but I figured my Vampire Lord's time is numbered in single digits. You know what I mean? So we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and Chaos charges. Bloab charges the Chariots and fails by like an inch, if you can believe it. His Giant and his Chosen slam into my Skeleton Warriors. I don't think he wanted to charge with his Chosen, but they failed their Frenzy check and had to, because, they're Markhorn. Then, of course, his Trolls tried to charge my Skeleton Warriors as well and failed, which was nice. And that's pretty much it. Everything else he has is deader in combat, There's a better picture of his Chosen and his Giant slamming into my Skeleton Warriors. And I gave this one 50-50, being generous. And there's a better picture of his trolls failing a charge, which I was grateful for, because my skeleton warriors would not have done well against the trolls right now. And there's a better picture of Bloab failing a charge against my chariots, which I'll take. That was lucky as hell, because if he had made it, the chariots would have been destroyed. During the magic phase, he gets Miasma Pestilence off on his Chosen, and there was just nothing I could do about it. I was stopping other spells. During the fight, it's not terrible. I think I do 1 wound to the giant, and I kill 3 or 4 of his Chosen. He kills much more of me, and I think I lose by 1 or 2, maybe 3. But as you can see, that's how it lies at the end. He wins this combat, but of course I just fall apart a little bit. And then over here, oh my god, Red Fury and Quick Blood. There ought to be a law. Yeah, I do 3, 6, 7, 8 wounds altogether against these guys, and they do nothing against me. It was glorious. So I win by 7, I think, because he did no wounds and I did like 7 or 8. I can't remember exactly how many. But I win by 6 or 7. He needs a 2 or a 3 to stay, and he fails. And since it's the standard guy, that's all that's left, he explodes. So Skull Crushers are dealt with, and I'm starting to think that maybe the Vampire Lord on a dragon is too overpowered. He's 679 points of cannon bait, but you know what? I like this guy. Plus the model is so cool. So I'm enjoying him. I'm probably going to keep using him for a while. I like this guy. And I like the idea that I have a lord on a dragon and it's feasible. So I like this. So with the fun all said and done, we go here to bottom of 3 after movement. And I don't do a whole lot. Well, I mean, my chariots charged Bloab because he's got to go. And I figure impact hits alone should be able to do him in. I mean, flame in, strength 4, all that good stuff. 3d6, strength 4. That should be enough to put 2 more wounds through on this ass. Other than that, I just kind of surround his trolls. I've got my stalkers in front of him to redirect him away from my warriors. I got my dragon vampire lord on their flank. I've got my hex race that run through them and then end up in their rear. And I thought about sending my titan into the flank of the chosen, and I thought, I'd rather not give the trolls a target, you know? So everything else just pretty much stays where it's at. There's a better picture of my chariot slamming into a Bloab, and I'm hoping to just obliterate this guy and, you know, be done with him right here. During the magic phase, I get Cursed Blades and 5-up ward save off on my skeletons and bring like 8 back because, you know, of the lore attribute, so that was awesome. However, I think it was the 5-up ward save, it was Irresistible Force, and I roll a miscast 4. Ugh!
No! You must not read from the book!
And it obliterates a lot. I lose 7 skeleton archers, or I'm sorry, skeleton warriors, and I lose 5 skeleton archers, which sucks. But the bonus is my High Lich Priest, Queen Elizabeth, does survive. She does take a wound, and it ends my magic phase, but ooh, I was like, oh no, I just lost my level 4. But no, she survived. She survived. More power to her. Gotta love it when that happens. And then during my shooting phase, I misfire with the casket. Which does suck a little bit, but it's a misfire 4. It just can't shoot this turn, which, it could have been worse. Over here in combat, yeah, skeleton chariots, their impact hits are able to slip the last 2 wounds through on Bloab, and he falls and dies, which is awesome. And then the chariots reform and do a victory pose because they just killed a special character of Nurgle. Yeah, there you go. This kill right here is dedicated to Valdez. Nothing but love for you, brother. But yeah, I thought of you when I killed this guy. Don't feel bad if you don't understand it. You know, Valdez will get it. Right now, somewhere, Valdez is smiling, and that's what's important. Over here in combat, I'm able to kill off the rest of his chosen, mostly thanks to Killing Blow, and I'm able to kill off his giant, mostly thanks to the fact that it only had 1 wound left. However, if you take a look at the scatter die, that giant bastard fell directly on my skeletons and did like 16 hits. and obliterated a lot of skeletons. I think like 12 died. It was insane. I do win this combat. Obviously, everything's dead, but my skeleton warriors do take a ton of damage for their trouble. But you know what? They did their job. They took care of the Chosen, they took care of the Giant, and there's still just over half of them left, so I'm feeling good about the way this one panned out in the end. It worked out kind of nice. So we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and you're never going to believe this. All he has left is the trolls, and they're stupid. Yeah. There's a better picture of his trolls being stupid. If you can believe it, they were friggin' stupid. So, since he does nothing, because the only thing he has left is his trolls, we go to bottom of 4 after movement. And, not to look a gift horse in the mouth, I don't move. There's no reason to move. I'm not charging the trolls because anything that hits that brick is dead. So I just left everything the way it was. I didn't see the purpose of moving, charging, or anything like that. I'm going to shoot. I take that back. The Hex Race did run through them and ran back out and to be positioned right where they're at. And my dragon, my zombie dragon, shifted so that if he's not stupid next turn, he charges my stalkers and kills them, and my zombie dragon charge him in the flank or the front or the rear, however he repositions or overruns or whatever the hell he's going to do. That was the plan there. There's a better picture of my Hex Race running through the trolls and doing they actually got a couple of wounds through, which was awesome. So yeah, one base dies and one's carrying a wound, so that was cool. Nothing happens in my magic phase, but during the shooting phase, I'm able to get the skull catapult to actually hit. And yes, it hits rather well. I do kill, I think, one. The strength 9, I think, did 1 wound, which was awesome. And then, of course, all the strength 3s. I do get some wounds through, but what's really important here is that I killed off his regen during the shooting phase, which is important, because the stalkers take some shots at him. And yes, I do like 16 hits to him. But I do a misfire, and one of the stalkers dies, so that's sad. But as you can see, two more bases are gone, and I don't think he's carrying any wounds. So just a few trolls die, before close combat, which is important, believe it or not, when you're talking about trolls. You need to make some headway against them. But I did what I could. So, with all that said and done, we go here to top of 5 after movement, and as you can see, there is none because once again, my poor opponent, he fails his stupidity check, and the trolls, well, since they're already an inch away from my stalkers, don't move. There you are. There's a better picture of his trolls being stupid, and I am going to ride this luck train all the way to the alabaster gates of heaven, because... Hey, listen, I've had a real bad streak of luck, and so you can't fault me for actually being happy about my luck changing. And although I did feel bad, especially right here when my opponent failed stupidity twice in a row. That was unheard of. I felt bad for him. So we go over here to bottom of 5 after movement, and once again, there's been no change. The Hex Race moved through the trolls again, and that's the only movement that I do. As you can see, the Hex Race were just as successful this time. They were able to slip 2 wounds through onto the regenerating trolls, so that was awesome. And then we go over into the shooting phase. My catapult scatters way off target, but my chariots, I think, they shoot at the trolls and aren't able to do anything, so they got regen. My dragon uses his breath weapon on the trolls because he hadn't used them yet, and I figured why not. I know it's only strength 2, and it's, oh yay, -2 to your armor save, but it was better than nothing. And then I pew at him a little bit more, and really nothing happens. I don't even think I pop a base. He just regens everything that I do, so it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we go over here to top of 6 after movement, and as you can see, the trolls were not stupid this turn and charged the stalkers, which was inevitable. There's a better picture of the trolls slamming into the stalkers, and that's upsetting because I really like my stalkers, but I sacrificed them for just this reason. And yeah, we go straight into combat, and yeah, the stalkers do some wounds to him, but he's able to regen all of them, and then he just beats these things back into their baser elements, and yeah, the stalkers get obliterated. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it, and you know what? That's fair. And then they reform and they do a victory pose like that. Really, there was no way he could turn that was going to be beneficial, to be honest with you. He was screwed no matter which direction he chose. So he just said, screw it, bring it on. So went to bottom of 6 after movement, and I brought it. Skeleton Warriors, the Chariots, the Hex Race, and my Vampire Lord on the Zombie Dragon charged his trolls. My Titan also charged the trolls, but failed to charge, so what can you do? But yeah, everything else that I had that wasn't a War Machine or Archers charged, and pretty much made it exception of the Titan. Here's a better picture of everything charging into the trolls. And as you see from the caption, I know I didn't have to charge to win. I'm well aware that I could have lost, or that I might very well lose the game by doing this charge. But you know what? Still got a lot of Warriors of Chaos General in me, and I couldn't not charge. It was just, who wants to end the game on the safe side, right? Let's go in there and see what happens. And it's just unbelievable. It's horrendous what happens. My Chariots do, I want to say it was like 16 impact hits, and I want to say like 12 wounded. It was absolutely ridiculous. If you guys out there in YouTube land are having troubles with your dice, take a handful of the dice. I burned 7. Take them, put them in a pile, and have your other dice that you're going to keep surround those dice facing the dice that are going to be burned. And burn those mother effing dice back to their baser elements. Make sure that all the other dice, are watching. I know it sounds crazy. I'm well aware that it sounds crazy. Do it, because my dice have turned 180 degrees. I do have a cup now. There was a picture at bottom of 6, back when the dragon was breathing fire, top of 6. You did see that little red cup. That's my new dice cup, and it's glorious. But men, women, everything in between, if you're listening and you're having some bad luck with your dice, I cannot stress enough that you should burn a handful of them and let the rest of the dice watch. And then get a dice cup, because my dice have turned completely 180, and it is so nice. It is so nice to not be beaten by your own dice. It really is. Now that being said, my disclaimer of make sure you burn them outside. If you're a child, don't burn them. Have parental supervision. Don't be stupid, guys. I don't want to hear about, oh, you burned down my house. Well, moron, don't burn them in your friggin' kitchen. Come on, guys. A little bit of common sense. And if you don't have the common sense, stay away from fire. Do Lord Tremendous a favor and stay away from fire. But yeah. Here's what happens right here when your dice know that their life is on the line. My Chariots do like 12 wounds all by themselves. My Skeleton Warriors do a bunch of wounds. My Zombie Dragon and Vampire Lord do a ton of wounds. My Hex Race just beat the crap out of everything. And yeah. In the end, he had like Throg left, I think. The 4 trolls you see were dead that are on there. He just stopped picking them up. Throg attacked, flubbed spectacularly, and killed my unit champion. My unit champion, I'm sorry, was issued a challenge, and Throg had to accept. So yeah, my unit champion got killed by Throg, but he only did like 2 wounds to him. I ended up doing closer to 30, and he needed Snake Eyes to stay, and he failed. My Vampire Lord rolled a 7 or an 8, and he rolled like a 6. So all the trolls are dead. Throg is dead, everything is dead, and there's the end of the game. We didn't bother moving the trolls or anything like that. They're all gone. Take my word for it, I was there. Yeah, unbelievable how well this game went. But, we'll get to the recap in a minute, because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Banners, banners, banners. Get you some banners. Look at the banners. You are never going to be able to get better banners than this. There is no company, there is no talent scout, there is no entity on the planet that's going to get you banners better than this. Custom banners for your custom army. You want better paint scores. You want that little edge that makes your army better than the guy next to you. Sick of running, going to a tournament and getting that paint score that's just a few points lower than the guy that literally sneezes on his army. And you can't figure out why? Get these banners and make your army really pop, really stand out. Send this guy an email, tell him what you want, and get yourself some banners. It's totally worth it. Alright, guys and gals, there it is. Token Gal is back, and she's back in full operation mode of making tokens. So if you missed out before she went and got married and became Mrs. Token Gal, or however that works, this is your chance. Get your tokens now. Send her an email. Send her your monies. Get yourself some tokens. They're dirt cheap, solid gold quality. You're not going to be disappointed. Tell her Tremendous sent you. She'll probably know. But yeah, get these tokens. They're so much better than just using dice. They're so much easier to remember everything. You don't have to worry about your cards getting lost, stolen, ripped, torn, whatever. And, you know, they're glass beads, cool high-def pictures. Totally worth it. Get yourself some tokens. You won't regret it. And Unleashed Wargaming's painting services is back, guys. I took it down for a little bit while I redid the ad and added some of his newer pictures, but as you can see, he does amazing work. He's based out of the US. He does solid, you know, quality work to all armies. I mean, you saw the pictures, you've seen the quality, you've seen the vibrant colors and the attention to detail and everything. I mean, that banner is free-handed. I mean, how are you not going to like something like that? So if you're like me, and you hate painting, but you don't have an awesome wife to do all your painting for you, give this guy an email, talk to him about what you need, and he's going to knock it out for you. You're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be embarrassed when you play your army at, you know, your local store, at GTs, or local GTs at your store, or however the heck you want to play. You'll have a painted army. It's going to be a beautifully painted army to your specifications. How can you go wrong? Send him an email, get your army painted, and quit embarrassing yourself. Tell him Tremendous sent you. Well, guys, as you saw, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. I was able to table my opponent in bottom of 6. The Undead Legion lost their I lost my Direwolves and I lost my Stalkers. Both acceptable losses. Chaos Legion lost everything, which I'm also okay with because, well, I'm kind of getting tired of being on that side of the table. About mother effing time my dice rolled average. They did roll a little bit higher than average. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did roll pretty well this game. Not everywhere. I did have a few rolls that were just poop, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's when every single roll is nothing but zeros. That's bad. But no, I rolled average to high average, and I'm very happy about that. Thrilled about that. I know, why wouldn't I be, right? But yeah, burning those dice and the new dice cup seem to be helping a lot. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm going 100% superstitious about this from now on. I swear, I'm gonna, like, you know, burn chicken bones and find weird, you know, herbs that they mention on, like, Supernatural and stuff. I don't even care. Just whatever it takes to keep these things rolling average, as long as it doesn't require, like, human sacrifice or the harming of small animals, we're good to go. But yeah, if you're having trouble with your dice, I highly advise adding fire, and that seems to fix things. Or a dice cup, or both, however you want to do it. Casket of Souls was huge this game. Really, it only went off once, but once is all it needed. It literally cut my opponent's army in half. 5 wounds to Bloab, 2 to his giant, killed off a Skull Crusher, and was able to gut the Chosen unit. That Chosen unit should have been a meat grinder into my Skeleton Warriors, but instead it was just, you know, it did the best it could, but, you know, it was gutted. It was at half strength, below half strength, without a unit champion, no less. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And it was able to bring the Demon Prince down to half wounds. So, it was, yeah, the Casket of Souls was MVP this game. Well, maybe second place to the Vampire Lord on a Giant, but still, awesome. Awesome that the Casket did that. Very happy about it. The giant falling on my skeletons, that was funny. Painful, but yeah, it was like taking crumbles anyway. I win! Now pick up a dozen skeletons. He killed a lot of my skeletons. And I think, to be honest with you, in the first round of combat, I think he picked up one of my skeletons and ate it, which is kind of a dick move by the giant. So I'm glad he's dead. But yeah, one of his first attack was pick up and the second one was jump up and down. So I think I would have lost that combat had it not been for just killing everything. But yeah, that was a mofo right there. I really did feel bad for my opponent when he failed stupidity twice in a row with his trolls. I think that would have gone a lot different had I not had 2 rounds to pick off trolls and stuff like that. Granted, only like 3 died, but still, it really gave me a way to get into perfect position and fire off everything and, really get warmed up for the incoming battle. Yeah, my stalkers bought it, but it stopped them from getting a hold of something really substantial, all by itself, like, ooh god, anything else. So, yeah, but I felt bad for my opponent. That sucks. The Vampire Lord on a Dragon. Possibly one of the smartest moves I've ever made. It was simply unstoppable. Always strikes first, and Red Fury were... wow. Just wow. There are no words. And the Zombie Dragon himself was... First of all, he's a breathtaking unit. The model that I'm using for him is probably, in my opinion, one of the best GWs ever put out. I love that model. It's only slightly converted too. I made the rider. I think his left arm, the weapon that he's carrying, isn't the one that was designed for that particular body. And I have a Tomb King head on there instead of Archon's head because I just don't like his hat. But other than that, I really didn't change anything on the model. I didn't add the armor to the shoulders because I didn't like it. I love that model, and I love that I'm playing an army that allows me to take a Vampire Lord on the dragon. So it's actually a dragon. There's no problem believing that it's just a tomb Vampire Lord, And yeah, it's perfect for my army. And yes, I'm aware about the size of the base and everything like that. I apologize for that. I didn't realize it until the end of the game after many of these games were played. My opponents were fine with it. They understood, and it's fixed. I now have the proper base for him and everything. So 3 battle reports from now, not including this one, you'll see the proper base. So until then, yeah, you'll just have to control that OCD. I apologize. But it was a great game. I'm loving the new Legion books. I like the armies. I like the new units that it's bringing to the table. I loved that blow-up guy. Even though I didn't really get to see everything he could do, especially in combat, I did get to see a really cool model on the table, and it was a little scary. Imagine what the higher point costed ones would do. So yeah, it was kind of neat. And more than anything, I'm just so happy that my dice aren't awful anymore. It's so nice. But very much looking forward to the rematch. My opponent, of course, this was his first attempt at a list with this particular book. Obviously, he didn't have any, beastmen or demons in here. So very interesting. I'm really looking forward to see what he does with his list to change it or whatnot. And, maybe see some more beastmen on the table or whatever. Who knows? But I really like the options. I got to be honest, the whole Undead and Chaos Legion merging and stuff like that, I got to be honest, when I first saw it, it made me nervous. I was like, some of the combos, yada, yada, yada. But no, I'm actually very pleased with it. I like the different. I like the new. I like the changes. For crying out loud, I saw a unit of Chosen for the first time in half a decade. I can't even remember the last time I saw Chosen before this game. I got to see a giant on the table. I got to see Bloab, which, of course I've never seen him before, but it's just the differences, the changes, the newness. And to be honest with you, if the casket hadn't have done what it did, I think this battle would have gone a lot differently. A lot differently. So really like the way it's a grind fest, really like the way it's, up to the last minute, and I'm curious to see where it goes from here. I'm curious to see what happens, throughout the Warhammer community. So yeah, so now that I'm done rambling, that's going to wrap it up for battle report number 166. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.